Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to topic 9. For lesson 9-1, we're going to work on modeling the addition of fractions. So we're going to work on ways that we can add fractions together. Let's go ahead and watch our short lesson video, and then we're going to jump into our notes and our guided practice together.
How can you use tools to add fractions? 10 canoeing teams are racing downriver. 5 teams have silver canoes, and 2 teams have brown canoes. What fraction of the canoes are either silver or brown?
Or is a very important word in that last sentence.
What information are you given in this problem? 5 out of 10 canoes are silver, and 2 out of 10 canoes are brown. What operation will you use to solve the problem? Why? You will use addition to solve the problem because you need to combine the parts of the canoes that are each color. You can use tools such as fraction strips to add 2 or more fractions. Find 5/10 plus 2/10. Use 5 1/10 fraction strips to show 5/10 and 2 1/10 strips to show 2/10. In 5/10, what does the numerator represent?
Select your answer.
The numerator of 5/10 represents 5 silver canoes. 5 1/10 strips joined with 2 1/10 strips are 7 1/10 strips. What do 5/10 and 2/10 have in common? Five-tenths and 2/10 have a like denominator, 10. Add the numerators. Then write the sum over the like denominator. 5/10 plus 2/10 equals 7/10. What does the like denominator represent? The like denominator represents the total number of canoes. You can also use a number line to find 5/10 plus 2/10. How many equal segments are between 0 and 1 on this number line? Why? There are 10 segments because there are 10 canoes. Each segment represents a canoe. Mark 5 1/10 segments to show 5/10 and 2 1/10 segments to show 2/10. Adding 5/10 and 2/10 means joining 5 1/10 segments and 2 1/10 segments. 7/10 of the canoes are either silver or brown. Now you know how to use tools to add fractions.
Okay, so pay attention to their number line over here. When they showed you 5/10, they showed you how they made 5/10. So 5 of your 1/10 size pieces. And then for 2/10, again, they showed you how they made 2/10. You make 2/10 with 2 1/10 size pieces. So let's go ahead and switch over and take a look at our notes and our guided practice for this lesson. Now in our notes, you can see we have our lesson title at the top. How can you use tools to add fractions? You can use drawings or number lines. You can use area models, or you can use fraction strips. So I have an example for you here. It says Kyle and Jillian are working on a sports banner. They painted 3/8 of the banner green and 4/8 purple. How much of the banner have they painted? So over here, I've already annotated my question. I circled my 3/8 of it green and my 4/8 of it purple, and I underlined my question part. Now you need to stop and think. Okay, they're painting one banner. So they're painting parts of the same whole. So the denominator tells me that the banner is in 8 pieces because it's over 8. Over here, the pieces that they were colored. 3 of the parts were green and 4 of the parts were purple. So let's try out different ways to solve it. One of the ways that you can try and solve it is by showing a number line. So I can draw a number line broken into 8 parts or eighths, right? So here's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and then 8/8, which is equal to 1 whole. And I can add on a number line the same way I would add whole numbers. So I start at my 3/8, and then I need to add 4 more parts. So I'm going to make 4 jumps over here on my number line. 3/8 plus 4/8 gave me 7/8. So I'm going to skip count the same way I would with whole numbers. Now pay attention over here. I have 3 of my 8 pieces, and then I have another 4 of those same 8 pieces. That's why I have 7 of 8 pieces. My like denominator, this common denominator, stays the same. It doesn't change because we're working with the same whole. They're working on one banner, one thing that they're painting. So 3 parts of it are green and 4 parts of it are purple. Altogether, they painted 7 parts out of the 8 parts of their banner. Now you can also do this using fraction strips. So here I drew a fraction strip. I drew my 1 whole so that I know how big my 1 whole is. I drew 3 of my 1/8 size pieces with green. And then I drew 4 of my 1/8 size pieces with purple to show 3/8 plus 4/8. So here I'm going to add the 2 parts, the green parts and the purple parts, by adding the number of pieces that I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces out of a total of, I can see in my denominators here, out of 8 pieces. So here, even if I'm looking at my fraction strip, I can see that I'm missing 1 piece to make it a whole. So I have 7 out of my 8 pieces altogether. So we have to add the parts by counting how many there are altogether, or by adding the numerators. Since the denominator is the same, we keep that common denominator. The only thing that's changing is our numerator. All right, let's take a look at another example. So let's find the sum of 3 fractions for this one. So 1/6 plus 2/6 plus 3/6, using a number line and fraction strips. So we're going to do both over here. So here's my number line. I broke it up into 6 parts. So 1/6 is where I'm starting, plus 2/6, I made those 2 bunny hops, plus 3/6, I made 3 more bunny hops. Got me to 6/6, which is 1 whole. Now, if I want to use this, if I want to do this using fraction strips, here's my 1 whole broken up into 6 individual pieces down here. So here's my 1/6 plus my 2/6 pieces plus my 3/6 pieces. I can see that is the entire shape right here. That fills in the same amount as 1 whole. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus another 3 is 6. So 6/6. We have all 6 of the pieces. So I have 1 whole. I have the whole shape. Now, one thing you need to pay attention to, since the denominators are the same, you're working with pieces of the same whole. The only numbers you are going to add together are your numerator. Your denominator stays the same. Do not add the denominators. You have a common denominator. That means it has to stay exactly the way it is. If you're working with 1/6 size pieces, your answer is going to be out of 6. If you're working with 1/10 size pieces, your answer is going to be out of 10, and so on. Now let's take a look at our guided practice. It says, in the problem on the previous page, would you get the same answer if you use an area model instead of fraction strips? Well, we know that the answer here is going to be yes, because just because we're using a different strategy, that doesn't change the sum that we're going to have. For question number 2, it says, what 2 fractions are being added and what is the sum? So here we have 2 1/8 size pieces, so that's 2/8. And here we have 3 1/8 size pieces, so that's 3/8. 2/8 plus 3/8 equals 5/8. Notice how the denominator stays the same. The only thing you're adding is the numerator. You're just adding the parts. We already know what the whole shape is going to be, how many pieces we have in total. That's not changing. Our total number of pieces isn't changing. We're looking at how many pieces we have and how many more pieces we got to find out the total number of pieces that we have. For number 3 and 4, we have the 2 images that they gave you in your book. So here we have 2/5 plus 1/5. So here's your 2/5 pieces. And here we're going to add in 1 more 5th. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So 2/5 plus 1/5 equals 3/5. Here we have 1/6 plus another 1/6. So 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 2/6. So you're going from 0 to 1/6, and then from there, you're adding another 1/6 size piece. 1/6 plus another 1/6 equals 2/6. So adding fractions is pretty straightforward, especially when you have a common denominator. You can ignore the denominator and just add the numbers in the numerator. Just copy it over all the way to your answer part, and then just work with your numerators, and then you can ignore the denominator part. That's it for this lesson, 4th grade. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.